Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Majin Slayer here. You're gonna call me Andres, by my nickname Andy as well. Today I got another DB high-rated matchup for you guys. We got Chicken Wing here with 1136 rating versus Pack, pretty well-known, good Yu-Gi-Oh player who won the Remote Duel YCS this past summer with 1157 rating. Be sure to check out the July_TCG Discord server down below. I'll put a link in the description. Really nice place to hang out, do some remote duels, play some dueling book, get feedback on um, your deck list. Just really nice place to hang out in general. But yeah, let's just go ahead and hop right into the video. We are just going to see Chicken Wing win the RPS. So decide to go first, 40 versus 43. Right, opening hands, we have Fogblade, E-Telly, Shade Brigadier, Graph, and then Silent Boots. So he opens up one Phantom Knight name, well, technically two Phantom Knight names with the Shade Brigadier, and then the E-Telly, so this still works. And then for pack side, you got Pot of Desires, Swordsoul of Moyi, Ecclesia, Tai, and Long John. So no going second cards for pack side, so he's going to be able to go full combo against pack without any worry. But let's see if he decides to play around certain hand traps or not. So he's going to go ahead and start off with E-Telly, bringing out the tracker, and then go ahead and normal summon out Boots. He's going to go into the Cherubini effect to dump for cost. He's going to go and dump Torn Scales. So he wants to go for the route of unbricking maybe the Graph. No, he's going to go for the Shade Brigadier. Okay, decides not to unbrick the Graph. Decides to instead see if Pack decides to try to nib him on the Rusty summon. Go ahead, go for Rusty effect, and then dump Cloak, set the Fogblade. So you go ahead and use Ancient Cloak effect, search out Silent Boots. Gonna bring out the Torn Scales effect. Go ahead, discard Graph, send the Gloves. I feel like if he wanted to unbrick the Graph, I feel like he should have probably done it while Cherubini was still out, so then Torn Scales would be the fourth summon. And so then that way, he can at least dump of the Gloves. So in case if when he activates the Graph effect and brings out the Seer, that's going to be your fifth summon. And in case if Pack had Nibiru, then that way he could still dump the Torn Scales to get it back into rotation with the Gloves. Because I feel like you get more value out of just having Seer blow itself up. Because you get to use the Seer as an extender, and then as well as reuse the Cherubini as well. But I guess he values Rusty being summoned on the fifth summon more, I guess. He's gonna go for Levier, detach the Boots, or summon up Ancient Cloak. Go for Dagda. Okay, so he likes to main deck the Scythe package. Most topping deck lists I've seen kind of tend to play it in the side. It's just because like if you main deck it, you know, it's a little bit more like winning the dice roll reliant. It's a hard going first card, and that it's adding in another brick to like the four. I would say like 3.5 bricks you already play, because the Graph and Seer, they're usually unbreakable, I would have to say. But we're gonna go ahead and see he's gonna use Gloves effect, sorry, to tag out for the Wing. He's gonna go ahead and use the Wing here to bring out Boots. We saw him do the normal play where he used the Ancient Cloak effect and then used it to trigger the Dagda. That's the most common way people like to set the Scythe lock, so nothing too out of the ordinary here. It's going to use Breaksword effect, bring back Ancient Cloak, bring back Boots. It's going to link them away for Verte Anaconda. It's going to use Verte effects. So he didn't open up any of his Destiny bricks or the Scythe bricks, but does open up the BA, but the BA is a little bit more forgiving to open up with than the Fusion Destiny bricks. And let's see here. So he decides not to go for the double Scythe lock. Basically, what the double Scythe lock is that you pop your own Verte and one of your traps. So then that way, in the draw phase, you can bring back a trap. With the to play around droplets, and you put your opponent on having a droplets plus a chalice, two effect negations pretty much. Um, what you would do is you'd bring back the break sword in the draw phase with the trap you have in the graveyard. Then if they negate the break sword or the scythe or whatever they choose to negate, the Phoenix Enforcer would come back in the standby phase, and since they already used droplet, you can just go ahead and pop the Dagda and the Scythe, and then just trigger the Scythe again, because it's not a hard once per turn. Well, it looks like he doesn't choose to do that. Pax is going to go ahead and top deck into an Emergence. He's going to go ahead, use Pot of Desires. Oh yeah, and then he ends up with triple Fogblade and one Scythe. So I guess he values a little bit more about the on-field negations of Fogblade, which is fair enough, fair enough. It's just that now I think that if he plays the standard 5 traps, which I see many Deathless plays, that he's going to be out of boot searches because he already used the Wing, the Shade Brigandine, and then he has the 3 Fogblade set. He's going to go ahead and normal summon out Moyi, reveal Tenyi, go ahead and Fogblade that. Probably use Long John next, maybe? Let's see. Yep, gonna go ahead and use Long John in hand effects. He's gonna go ahead and use the Phoenix Enforcer effects. Does have Droplet though. Yep, can go ahead and use the Droplet. Sending Heavenly Dragon Circle for cost. Oh yeah, he drew into that, by the way, from the Pot of Desires, I believe. I skipped that part. Yeah, drew Forbidden Droplet and Heavenly Dragon Circle. My bad, didn't go over that. He's going to go ahead and use Heavenly Dragon Circle Graveyard effects here. He's going to go ahead and add Mashuda effect. It's going to bounce back the Fogblade. Yeah, I feel like he should have went for like the double Scythe lock, because even if he drew into that droplets, well, Scythe effect would have already resolved since it's a lingering effect. So it's going to burn for 1200 with Long John effects. It's going to use Baron effect. It's going to chain Fogblade, but Baron negate the Fogblade. It's going to use Ecclesia effects. Bring out a Tenyi. Then go ahead, use Tenyi effect to banish. Bring out a token. Go ahead and go into Baxia effects, and the Tenyi effects. Go ahead, spin back a Fogblade, spin back the Dagda. Tenyi effect, pop itself, bring back the Ecclesia. Gonna think here. He's also seeking on summon of Ecclesia. He's going to go for the Breaksphere pop here with Rusty. He's going to pop the Ecclesia. He's going to go ahead, use Emergence, search for the Protoss. He said, geez. But I mean, you could have avoided this entire thing if you just did the double Scythe lock. Hand was cracked. I mean, Oh, okay. So they're just talking about the YCS. I guess this duel happened a little bit before the YCS, but we're gonna go ahead and see game two now. And I player decided to go first. He's gonna open up with Fusion Destiny, Graph, Tour Guide, Kagamucha Knight, and Boots. Interesting that he's playing Kagamucha Knight plus the Tour Guide. A lot of Fan Night players have kind of dropped Tour Guide, especially if they're playing 40 cards. Just because of like how um awkward Tour Guide is into the Swordsoul matchup. You know, you normal summon Tour Guide effect, you're just gonna black out your Graph and your Tour Guide, and you're just gonna bring out Seer for like no reason. It's not really gonna be getting any recursion from anything. Um, but you know, I'd say like in a more pure build, like the ones I played in the past, or like Dodger Wolf's pure build, it works out really nice, and it's decent against every other matchup because not a lot of decks can play Gamma except for Swordsoul Tenyi, of course. But now for Pack's opening hand, we have Tenyi Spirit Adhara, Forbidden Droplet, Ciphering Gamma, Ashina, and Swordsoul Emergence. So he has two going second cards. Well, Chicken Wing has mainly all gas. He should have really just declared his trigger effects right there, because now he knows Pack has Gamma in the opening hands. What I like to do is I always type Tour Guide 1, Kagamuchi Knight 2. I feel like that's what you should do when you have multiple trigger effects that happen at the same time. So that way you don't end up revealing anything you don't want to reveal to your opponent. Because now he knows that Pack has the Gamma in hand, so he can play around it. He's going to bring out the Seer, the Tour Guide. Special summon the Graph from hand. He's going to use Shirabini effect, dump the Ancient Cloak. So he's thinking here. He's probably debating either between an Appaloosa or the Rusty now that he knows. Says, yeah, I didn't know you had Kagamushi Knight, but it's testing, so I don't care. I would just go straight into Rusty if I were him. Yeah, it looks like they know each other a little bit, just kind of talking. He's playing really hard into Gamma here. The Seer doesn't blow itself up because it was special summon off of Tour Guide. You can go for an Appaloosa here. He's gonna go ahead, try to use the Gamma effect when he tries to bring back the Shirabini. He lets that go through. He's gonna go for the Dagda. Fusion Destiny here, and then chain the Dagda. He's going to use Boots effect to search a Pogblade. Special summon out the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer and pass turn. Alright, he's not leaving himself with much follow-up aside from the Dasher and Celestial, but he does have the 3 interruptions from Appaloosa, which is good because it'll negate the Tennies, the Long John in hand, and then he has Destroy Phoenix Enforcer for non-targeting pop, as well as the Scythe Lock and a Pogblade. So about 5 interruptions here in total if you want to count up all of Appaloosa's negates. So he's going to go Emergence here. He's going to chain Droplet sending the Adhara and Emergence for costs. I think right here I would go ahead and use Fogblade, target one of my own monsters, and chain the Phoenix Enforcer effect because he didn't send a trap, and then go ahead and Scythe Lock him from there. Alright. He's going to go ahead and chain Dagda. And set a Lancia. And yeah, Pax just emits defeat from there. He's going to pop both the Lancia and the Scythe. Pretty dirty combo when you think about it, being able to lock your opponent out of the extra deck as well as banishing. Pretty nice combo there. But we're going to move on to game 3 now. And then the Fan Knight player opens up with Boots, Token Collector, Ancient Cloak, Pog Blade, and a Lightning Storm. So has 2 going second cards, and then 1 card for like really strong high impact hand trap for this Swordsoul Tenyi matchup specifically. Then we have Long John, Heavenly Dragon Circle, Ashina, Vishuddha, Vessel. So mainly all edged cards for pack side here. Gonna start off with the Ashina. Gonna go into the Monk. Gonna go ahead and use Vessel here. Search out the Adhara, dump the Moyi. Gonna go ahead and use Adhara effects, summon itself out. See, controls no effect monsters. Go ahead and use the Ashina effect. Ashina is going to go ahead and special summon out the Vishuddha. Looks like he's going to go synchro those into the Baxia. I think he's going to go ahead and use Baxia effect here. He's going to pop the Monk and then special summon out the Adhara. Or I guess he just wants to bring out the Moyi actually instead. He's going to go Moyi, reveal the Vishuddha. Now he's going to go ahead and drop the Token Collector in here. He's going to go ahead and go Heavenly Dragon Circle. And the token is should be a 1 worm monster. Add 1 worm monster to deck. Correct me. Oh wait, yeah, it is a worm. It is a worm token. The token is a worm, sorry. Pack's trying to debate right now how hard he wants to play into Nib. He's going to go ahead, link the Adhara into the Monk, and use Adhara effects. He's going to add back the Ashina. Then he's going to go ahead and use Vishuddha effect to get rid of the Token Collector. He's going to go ahead and use Long John effects. Probably going to go into, no, not Baroness. Oh, he's going to go into Shisha. Okay. Doing this play, I guess that's what he was debating on, whether or not how hard he wants to play into Nib, because he could have just gone into Baron, but like he wouldn't get that much follow up. He would get the burn damage, but now since he goes with the Moyi and Chi play, he gets better follow up. He gets more pluses basically than if he were to just go into the Baroness. Now he's gonna link off the Monk and the Baxia into the Shaman. So I'm going to use Shaman effect, discarding the Vishuddha. It's going to bring back the Baxia. The Baxia effect, pop the Long John, bring back out the Adhara. This is just a soft once per turn. It's not a. Again, you keep on using its effect as long as you're using different copies of the card. He's going to go ahead and go with the Synchro Summon into the Chaofeng, and then he's going to go ahead and use the Emergence, searching out the Protoss. Oh, and I forgot to say that he also added the Ecclesia as well. You can go ahead, go for Protoss. Protoss effect called Dark, and pass his turn. And he's going to go ahead, go for a Lightning Storm here. He doesn't have any generic extenders that aren't dark. You know, he has basically all dark monsters in his hand, so he's not going to be able to special summon this turn. He's going to go ahead, use the Chaofeng effects. Go add Tuner, so he's going to go add the Adhara. He's just going to go ahead, set Ancient Cloak, pass. Yeah, not much you can do there except for, you know, hoping you don't die. Then he's gonna go ahead and use the Ecclesia effect, special summon out from deck. So he's gonna decide to special summon out here. Alright, he's gonna go for Moi here. Moi reveal the Adhara. Feel like you might just want to hold the Pod Blade for the Protos. Yep, he's gonna go Protos effect called Dark. Yep, definitely Fog Blade that. He's gonna go for just beat over the Ancient Cloak. You know, even though it does have a graveyard effect, you just want to beat over it just to like lessen the amount of bodies they have to work with, so that way they have less bodies to do link plays with. Fuck. He said, I was supposed to normal summon at Hara. I forgot you had token collector. Yep, so Pack admits that he might have done a little bit of a misplay there. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and see Chicken Wing take this duel. 2-1. We are going to see this duel was 31 minutes long. Really just token collector doing a lot of work there. Just being able to like help him just shut down the tokens from the Swordsoul Tenyi deck. And once Pax knew that he had token collector when he was going first, he was playing around it as best as possible. A little bit risky if he had nib, but generally, you know, if your opponent opens up to hand traps, you know, they just have better RNG at that point. So you saw Pax still being able to push through that token collector with it being super high impact against the Swordsoul Tenyi matchup. And then we did see the Lightning Storm put in quite a bit of work, being able to get rid of a lot of bodies Pack had on the field. Lightning Storm's just a little bit weird in the Phantom Knight deck, in my personal opinion, just because you want to side or main deck hand traps like Nibiru, and like if Nibiru stays on field, then like you can't really activate Lightning Storm because you control a face-up card. That, and also Lightning Storm plays hard into anti-spell and Imperial Order, which this deck can already get away with playing around just by using stuff like Twin Twisters instead. I get the premise for it with Lightning Storm about how much value you can get out of it with just destroying all of your opponent's back row or monsters, but it's personal preference at that point. But yeah, we're gonna see Phantom Knights win 2-1 here. Definitely feel like he could have gone for the double Scythe lock in game 1 to give him the win and have early advantage in the matchup early on. But you know, it's his choice on that one. But and I don't play the Scythe lock, so we're gonna go ahead and see him pick up the win here against Pack 2-1. And that being said, hope you guys enjoy the content. Please leave a like. Feel free to submit some Phantom Knight replays to me if you guys want. They don't have to be necessarily high rated, but I like to see good back and forth action between different archetypes, whether it be rogue, meta, I don't really care. But yeah, see you guys later. Peace.